Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Good morning to you, Tanya. The City Council approved that measure late last night for Black residents. It's a housing program. Not everybody, though, is in complete agreement about that program. The City Council voted in 2019 to create the Reparations Fund using tax revenue from recreational marijuana. The fund is supposed to be used for housing and economic development programs for Black residents, but critics say this isn't reparations, just a housing plan, only helping a limited number of people.
It's a social equity housing program, which we are more than fine with passing if they would like to change the name.
And it might, have some things that could be improved on. But the whole point is that you have to start doing something to help rally others to get on board and help make it a better process.
The council voted for the first round of $25,000 payments. That'll go to 16 qualifying Black households for home repairs, down payments, or mortgage payments. This program could serve as the model for other proposed reparation programs across the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, H.R. 40 advanced in the House panel to Congress. And I know this is not a victory. But yes, in a sense, it is history because this is probably as far as a reparations or what they got labeled as a reparations bill has gotten. But we know it's going to fall flat in Congress. These lawmakers, they don't even like us. They don't even like us enough to do stuff, things about police brutality. What makes you think they're going to do something about slavery reparations? For real? Whatever. So this came out on NPR, and this actually happened today. So this is some audio that I want you to listen to.
What does America owe the descendants of enslaved people? It's a question on the table in Congress today, where more seriously than ever before, lawmakers are debating the idea of reparations. A House committee is considering legislation to create a commission to study the issue. And NPR political reporter Juana Summers has been following all of this. She joins us now. Hey, Juana.
Hello.
Hi. So tell us about this bill. What exactly would it do?
The bill would create a 13-person commission to develop proposals to address the lingering effects of slavery and racial discrimination from before the founding of this country to present day. That commission would also consider what form a national apology could take for the harm caused by slavery. The commission would be empowered to hold hearings, and it would submit to Congress its findings for what may be appropriate remedies for Black Americans. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas is the lead sponsor of this bill, known as H.R. 40. She says that the descendants of slaves still suffer today from the legacy of that system.
We're committed to establishing this H.R. 40 as an enabling legislation to address the deep-seated racism and historic and systemic elements of mistreatment of African Americans through the centuries. We think it will be cleansing for this nation, and we think that it will be a step moving America forward. See us debate this question on the floor of the House.
Now, I think it's important to note that there is still debate, even among supporters of reparations for slavery, about what that might actually look like. Some have pushed for direct monetary payments to the descendants of slaves. Others have said that there are other types of proposals that may be more realistic and could be put into law.
Okay. I mean, this is a bill that some members of Congress have been trying to pass for literally decades now, right?
Yeah, 3 decades actually. This bill was first proposed back in 1989 by then Congressman John Conyers, a Democrat from Michigan who has since died. But there wasn't a whole lot of interest from congressional leaders, so it never received a vote. But things are really different now. This country has been grappling openly with systemic racism and justice. And now this bill has the support of more than 170 Democrats, as well as key congressional leaders. Supporters of this effort say that the committee vote that we expect to see today that would eventually send this to the full House is a really important milestone in their efforts to meaningfully deal with the lingering effects of slavery on this country that still exists to this day.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of Democrats on board, but what about Republicans? What have they had to say about this bill?
We expect to hear them push back on this legislation in this hearing later today, as well as in the Senate if it does make its way there. Now, there was an earlier hearing on this legislation where we got a sense of where they stand on this. Take a listen to one argument from Congressman Burgess Owens of Utah, a Republican who is Black.
It is impractical and a non-starter for the United States government to pay reparations. It is also unfair and heartless to give Black Americans the hope that this is a reality. The reality is that Black American history is not one of a hapless, hopeless race oppressed by a more powerful white race. It is instead a history of millions of middle and wealthy class Black Americans throughout the early 20th century achieving their American dream.
So that was Congressman Owens' approach. Now, for another indication of what we might hear from Republicans, look back to 2019 when then Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell talked about this. And his argument in part was that it would be hard to figure out who to compensate and that reparations for something that happened more than 150 years ago was just not a good idea.
Well, what about President Biden? Do we know if he would sign this bill into law if it actually did pass Congress?
So the president met with members of the Congressional Black Caucus yesterday, and after the meeting, these lawmakers said that they had discussed this issue and this bill with the president. Congresswoman Jackson Lee said that she'd heard from the president as well as members of his team that he is committed to this concept.
That is NPR's Juana Summers. Thank you, Juana.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Jim Crow Joe was going to sign it. Yeah, you know I don't believe that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I played that first video for you for Evanston. And just to let you know and just remind you, that model that they claim, it's just a housing program at the end of the day. But they got the name reparations slapped on it. And they got the nerve and audacity to say this can be a nationwide model. And you also heard in the video, out of all the people in Evanston, only 16 people were eligible for their quote unquote reparations. Does that even make any common sense? Why would we want a housing program only a handful of people will qualify for and call that reparations? And what if you're not looking to move? What if you don't even need repairs on your house? So you wouldn't get anything. That's stupid. But, ladies and gentlemen, look, they just came up with a grant for the Asians. And we know the countless groups that got reparations already before, So to say to us, oh, well, we can advance this HR 40 bill, but this is just to get together a 13 person committee and they're going to have to decide this and decide that. Well, how come you didn't do all of that for the Asians? How come you didn't get no committee together before you gave them that $50 million grant? Where was the committee for that? Where were the House hearings for that? Y'all are just terrible at trying to, I guess they think they're fooling us and stringing us along. Well, look, it ain't working. Okay, many of us see exactly what's going on. Y'all done gave money to these illegals, putting them up in rooms and everything. I didn't see no House hearing on that. I didn't see no committees put together. Y'all just gave the money. But you want to act like we don't see and recognize what's going on. Yeah, well, you keep believing that. Y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.